Have you ever wondered why some people recover from a financial disaster within months, while others spend years trying to rebuild their lives? It isn't always because they earned more money. It isn't because they were luckier. And it certainly isn't because bad things only happen to careless people.
Sometimes the only difference between financial security and financial ruin is a single decision made years earlier, the decision to buy the right insurance. Most people believe insurance is just another monthly bill, something you pay because everyone says you should, something you hope you'll never have to use.
But that way of thinking is exactly what leads millions of people into costly mistakes. Every year, families lose their life savings because they assume they were protected. Business owners are forced
To shut down after unexpected losses. Parents struggle to pay hospital bills they believed their insurance would cover. And many people don't discover the truth until the exact moment they need help the most. By then, changing the policy is no longer an option. The damage has already been done. The truth is, buying insurance isn't difficult. Buying the right insurance is. Unfortunately, most buyers focus on the wrong things. They chase the lowest price. They trust advertisements without asking questions. They skip the policy details. And they assume that every insurance plan offers the same protection. Nothing could be further from the truth. Insurance is not just a product. It's a financial contract that could determine whether your family remains financially secure during life's most difficult moments. That's why the smartest people don't buy insurance in a hurry. They understand it first. Because one small mistake today can become one of the biggest financial regrets of tomorrow. In this video, you'll discover the 5 biggest mistakes people make before buying insurance. Mistakes that financial experts see every day, yet millions of people continue to repeat. If you're planning to buy insurance, or if you already have a policy, stay with me until the end. One lesson in this video could save you thousands of dollars and protect the people who matter most. Let's begin with the first mistake. And it's one that almost everyone makes without even realizing it. The first mistake is choosing an insurance policy simply because it's the cheapest. At first, that sounds like the smart thing to do. After all, saving money is a good habit. If 2 insurance companies seem to offer the same product, why wouldn't you choose the one with the lower monthly premium? That's exactly how most people think. And that's exactly why so many people end up disappointed when they finally need their insurance. Here's the reality. The price you pay each month tells you almost nothing about how well you're actually protected.
A cheaper policy often comes with hidden trade-offs. It may cover fewer medical treatments. It may have lower claim limits. It may exclude certain illnesses, accidents, or emergencies. Some policies even require you to pay a large portion of the expenses yourself before the insurance company pays anything. These details are rarely highlighted in advertisements. They're usually buried inside long policy documents filled with legal language that most people never read. Imagine 2 neighbors buying health insurance. Both are around the same age. Both are healthy. Both believe they're making a wise financial decision. One chooses the cheapest plan available because it saves a few $100s each year. The other spends a little more after carefully comparing the benefits, exclusions, claim process, and coverage limits. Months later, both face an unexpected medical emergency. The first person walks into the hospital feeling confident. But after the paperwork is reviewed, they're told that the treatment they need isn't fully covered. Instead of leaving with peace of mind, they leave with a bill that could take years to repay. The second person receives the treatment without worrying about how to afford it. The difference wasn't luck. The difference was preparation. Insurance isn't meant to save you money every month. It's meant to protect your money when life takes an unexpected turn. That's why the cheapest option is not always the smartest option. Think about it this way. If someone offered you 2 parachutes before a skydive, one made with premium materials and another made with the cheapest parts available, which one would you choose? The answer is obvious.
Because when your safety is on the line, quality matters more than price. Insurance works the same way. You buy it hoping you'll never need it. But if that day ever comes, you'll want to know that your policy was designed to protect you, not just attract you with a low monthly payment. Before buying any insurance policy, ask yourself a few simple questions. What exactly is covered? What isn't covered? How much will the company actually pay if I file a claim? Are there waiting periods? Are there limits that could leave me paying out of pocket? These questions may seem small today, but they can make a life-changing difference tomorrow. The smartest insurance buyers don't compare prices first. They compare protection, because at the end of the day, insurance is not about buying a piece of paper. It's about buying confidence. Confidence that no matter what happens, you and your family won't have to face a financial disaster alone. And once you understand that, you'll never look at a low premium the same way again, But surprisingly, an even bigger mistake is waiting just ahead, one that causes countless claims to be rejected every single year, even when people have been paying their premiums faithfully for years. That mistake is surprisingly simple.
People sign an insurance policy without ever reading what they're actually agreeing to. It sounds unbelievable, but it happens every single day. Most buyers are excited when they finally purchase insurance. They receive a thick stack of documents, glance at the first page, sign where they're told, and file the paperwork away without ever opening it again.
They assume everything important has already been explained. Unfortunately, that's not always true. An insurance policy is more than a receipt. It's a legal contract, and every contract contains conditions. Inside those pages are the answers to questions that could determine whether your future claim is approved or rejected. What events are covered? What situations are excluded?
How long is the waiting period? What documents are required when filing a claim? Under what circumstances can a claim be denied? Most people don't know the answers because they never take the time to look.
And when an emergency happens, they discover those answers in the worst possible way. Imagine a father who buys health insurance to protect his family. For years, he pays every premium on time. He never misses a payment. Then one day, his daughter needs a medical procedure. Confident that everything is covered, he submits a claim. Days later, the insurance company responds.
The treatment isn't included under his policy. He argues that no one mentioned this when he bought the plan. The company points to a clause clearly written in the contract. The information was always there. It was simply never read. Moments like these happen far more often than people realize. Insurance companies don't usually make decisions based on assumptions. They make decisions based on the agreement both parties signed. That's why understanding your policy isn't optional. It's your responsibility. This doesn't mean you need to become a lawyer or memorize every sentence.
But you should understand the most important parts before putting your signature on the contract. Pay close attention to the exclusions. These are the situations your insurance will not cover. Many people spend all their time reading the benefits while completely ignoring the exclusions. Ironically, those few pages often become the most important pages in the entire policy.
You should also understand your deductibles, claim limits, waiting periods, renewal conditions, and cancellation rules. If any sentence seems confusing, ask questions until it makes sense. Never feel embarrassed about asking for clarification. You're making a financial decision that could affect your future for years. A trustworthy insurance advisor should be willing to explain every important detail in plain language. If someone tries to rush you into signing without answering your questions, consider that a warning sign. Remember, once your signature is on the contract, those written terms become legally binding. No advertisement, no verbal promise, no friendly conversation can replace what's actually written in the policy. The smartest buyers don't just purchase insurance, they understand it. Because knowledge doesn't just help you choose a better policy, it helps ensure that when the day comes to file a claim, there are no painful surprises waiting for you. And while failing to read the policy can lead to disappointment, the next mistake can be even more expensive. In fact, it's one of the biggest reasons people discover, far too late, that the protection they bought was never enough in the first place. That mistake is choosing the wrong amount of coverage. It doesn't happen because people don't care. It happens because most people don't know how much protection they actually need. Some believe that buying the minimum coverage is enough because it's affordable. Others assume that more coverage is always better without considering whether it fits their financial situation. Both approaches can lead to costly consequences. Imagine owning a home worth $300,000, but your insurance only covers half of its value. A major fire destroys everything you've worked for. You expect the insurance company to help you rebuild. Instead, you receive a payout that covers only a portion of the damage. The remaining cost comes out of your own pocket. Years of hard work disappear in a matter of days. Now think about life insurance. A father purchases a policy believing he's protecting his family. He chooses a small coverage amount simply because the monthly premium is lower. Years later, something unexpected happens. His family receives the insurance payment, but it's only enough to cover a few months of living expenses. The mortgage still needs to be paid. The children's education still costs money. Daily bills continue to arrive. The policy provided help, but not enough to replace the financial support the family truly depended on. This is called being underinsured. It's one of the most common mistakes insurance buyers make. People often insure only what they can comfortably pay for today instead of considering what their family would actually need tomorrow. The goal of insurance isn't to own a policy. The goal is to transfer financial risk.
If your coverage isn't large enough to handle that risk, then your protection has serious gaps. On the other hand, buying far more coverage than you realistically need can also create unnecessary financial pressure.
Higher premiums paid over many years can reduce money that could have been invested, saved, or used for other important goals. That's why choosing the right amount of coverage isn't about guessing. It's about planning. Before buying any insurance policy, ask yourself a few important questions. If I couldn't work tomorrow, how much income would my family lose?
If my home were completely destroyed, how much would it cost to rebuild? If I faced a major medical emergency, how much could I realistically afford without insurance? How many months could my savings support my family? These aren't comfortable questions, but they're necessary ones. Because insurance isn't designed for ordinary days. It's designed for the days you hope never come. Financial planners often recommend reviewing your insurance every few years. Life changes, people get married, families grow, children are born, careers improve, homes become more valuable. Your insurance should grow with your life. A policy that was perfect 5 years ago may no longer provide enough protection today. The biggest mistake is assuming that once you've purchased insurance, your job is done forever. It isn't. Your policy should evolve as your responsibilities evolve. The best insurance plan isn't the cheapest. It isn't the most expensive. It's the one that matches your real financial risks and gives you confidence that if life suddenly changes, the people you love won't have to face that burden alone. And yet, even people who choose the right coverage can still make one final mistake, one that's completely avoidable, but can delay claims, create unnecessary stress, and sometimes leave families without the protection they thought they had when they need it most. The fifth and final mistake is one that many people don't think about until it's too late. They buy an insurance policy, then forget about it completely. The policy is placed inside a drawer, the monthly premiums are paid automatically, and life goes on. Years pass. Nothing happens. So people assume everything is fine. But life never stays the same. Your income changes. Your family grows. You may get married. You may have children. You might buy a new home, start a business, or change careers. Every major life event changes your financial responsibilities. Yet millions of people continue relying on an insurance policy they purchased 5, 10, or even 20 years ago. The policy that once fit their life perfectly may no longer provide the protection they actually need.
That's why reviewing your insurance regularly is just as important as buying it in the first place.
Financial experts often recommend reviewing your policies at least once a year or whenever a major life event occurs. Ask yourself simple questions. Does this policy still match my current lifestyle? Has my family's financial situation changed? Are my coverage limits still enough? Have I added new assets that should be protected? Could I find better coverage today without paying significantly more? These questions may only take a few minutes to answer, but they can prevent years of financial hardship. Another mistake people make is failing to keep their beneficiaries updated. Imagine purchasing a life insurance policy years ago and naming a beneficiary. Over time, your personal circumstances change, but the policy never gets updated. When the unexpected happens, the insurance proceeds may not go to the person you intended to protect. A simple review could prevent a complicated legal and financial situation for the people you love. It's also important to keep copies of your policy in a safe and accessible place. More importantly, make sure your family knows that the policy exists. You would be surprised how many insurance benefits are never claimed simply because no one knew the policy had been purchased. Insurance only provides protection if the right people know how to use it.
At the end of the day, insurance isn't about expecting something bad to happen. It's about being prepared if it does. You can't predict the future. No one can. You can't predict an accident. You can't predict an illness, you can't predict a natural disaster or an unexpected loss, but you can prepare for them. And that's exactly what insurance is designed to do.
The people who make the best financial decisions aren't the ones who hope nothing will ever go wrong. They're the ones who understand that life is unpredictable and prepare for it anyway. So before you buy your next insurance policy or before you simply renew the one you already have, take a moment to remember these 5 mistakes. Don't choose a policy based only on the lowest price. Don't sign documents you haven't read. Don't underestimate the amount of coverage you truly need. Don't assume every policy is the same, and never buy insurance once and forget about it forever.
A few extra hours of research today could save you years of financial stress tomorrow. Because in the end, insurance isn't really about money. It's about protecting your future. It's about protecting your dreams. And most importantly, it's about protecting the people who depend on you.
If this video helped you understand insurance in a way you never had before, share it with someone you care about. One simple conversation today could save a family from making a costly mistake tomorrow.
And if you want more practical videos on personal finance, wealth building, and smart money decisions, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay prepared, and as always, take care of your future before your future has to take care of itself.